Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Show Video Games History and Theory. It will be more fun than it sounds. My name is, oh, you go first. You're on top.
I'm on top. Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Carrion. I am a game show historian. I'm the news editor of buzzerblog.com, the #1 game show news-related website in the world. I am also a six-time game show contestant, writer of Pundle, the daily pun-based word game. I'm also producing a weekly podcast in conjunction with the National Archives of Game Show History, and I'm on Twitter at Stranger Than C. Thank you for coming out to hear us talk tonight. Appreciate it.
And my name's Corey. I don't do anything.
Say your things.
Okay, fine. I design video games. I design Pundle. I also design Flash games in 2023 because I'm stubborn. I'm also a graphic. Thank you. Find us at MIVS. I'm also a graphic designer, a content creator. I founded and run Buzzerblog as well, and I'm the executive producer of a podcast, which is done in conjunction with the National Archives of Television Game Shows and the Strong Museum of Play, or whatever the hell it's called.
That's right. Really, at the end of the day, what's important here is that we're both really, 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 really into game shows, and we're really into all the media that game shows have sprouted, video games in particular. So we're excited to talk about a few of our favorites tonight.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to first start with the history of game shows. It's very condensed history. We'll stop along the way to kind of show some clips about how game shows looked back then, and then we're going to call up some people randomly to help us play a few snippets of game shows as well, just to kind of go through the past. And then once we kind of get to the present, then we will talk about what we think are really good game show video games and why they're good. And then if you are still alive and awake at the end, we may have some giveaways for you. I don't know how many people are in here, but it looks like it's around about how many things we have. So
that's good.
This might work.
That's just as we planned.
Yeah, we guessed. Anyway, so let's start with the timeline. So what we did is we first started to look at what was the earliest possible electronic home video game, a home version of a game show. Anyone want to have any guesses as to what it might have been? No?
The Joker's Wow.
No. No. It had a bunch of board games, but no video games for a while. Or electronic games, we'll say. Yes, sir? No.
These are all good guesses.
These are all very good guesses. It makes a lot of sense. So we're going to go back to 1979. This is the first electronic home game we can find, and it's actually a tabletop game of Name That Tune. It's made by Castle Toys. You can find it at your local thrift store, probably.
You can. I wish I did. I found my copy, I think, for like $5 at a thrift store.
Yeah.
This is a very rudimentary 10-note, essentially like a programmable keyboard.
Yeah.
So there are several songs in the game that you can kind of program. The whole game, the object of the game is to guess the name of songs. And so there's a book of songs that you can kind of program in. You can make your own. Again, very crude, very not user-friendly at all. And we're at a period right now where, yes, for a long time there have been a lot of board games, and the desire to play the games that people watch on TV was really strong for a long time, which is why you had a lot of home versions of things like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and Concentration and Family Feud and things. This is the first electronic version of that. And we're at a point right now where the goal is to translate the game itself to the home experience rather than make it feel like you are a contestant on the show, which as we go forward in this timeline, you'll see that there becomes this goal to make it feel like you're a contestant rather than just playing the game, make it a whole sort of sensory experience. And computers and consoles help with that a lot.
And we can also note that as game shows get more intricate in terms of their staging and their concepts, we start to see more intricate games coming out of them. So, in the 60s and 70s, you could get away with Concentration being on a reel of paper with little cardboard things, but you couldn't really do Name That Tune. I mean, the name of the home game in the 60s was a piano. So.
Right, yeah, this is Name That Tune in particular is a show with a lot of history as far as home versions. There was a board game that came with a record that had all the songs you had to guess on it. There was really just all kinds of ways that they tried to bring this game across. But this is the first truly electronic example of what we're talking about.
The second game show home game was and we're kind of flaky on the details, and we don't have a slide for it, but in 1980, there was a very strange 8-track driven console called the Milton Bradley Omni. And it looked like a 4-way telephone. It was very strange, but it had versions of Jeopardy, which just got canceled by 1980. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, about a year prior. Yeah, I'm actually the console looked like this light thing.
It did.
It looked just like one of these. It sat. Imagine that upside down and sitting on the table in front of you.
Yeah. And the light in the middle, that's your 8-track. You just shove it in there.
Right.
And then there's little buttons, and it used the stereo sound, and it had like encode. It was very strange.
We're actually in the Milton Bradley Omni Memorial Meeting Room as we speak.
Yeah, that's right. This is the Milton chair. You have the Bradley chair.
That's right. I'm honored. I never thought I'd sit in the Bradley chair.
So the Omni had Password Plus and Jeopardy, both very interesting for games that are a system that's very linear in its way. So Password, you had to guess what word they were guessing by typing it in like a phone. It's very strange. So the technology it's trying to catch up to what people are seeing on TV, and we can see that next evolution and kind of how technology wasn't quite ready yet with the Great Game Company. Chris, you know all about this, and I don't know dick all about it.
Yeah, so actually I wrote an article for Buzzer Blog a few years ago about the history of a company called Game Tech, which gained fame in the late 80s, early 90s as pretty much the premier developer of game show-based video games. So they did all the Jeopardies for Super Nintendo, for Genesis. They did Family Feud for Genesis and Super Nintendo, American Gladiators, all kinds of shows. But their history really begins with the Great Game Company, and it's something that never really came about. There were promos and print ads for this particular company. The goal was that they were going to bring game shows to home consoles, and in particular, they were focused on the Atari 2600. Now, because of the limited memory of an Atari cartridge, there wouldn't have been enough to, for example, in a game like Family Feud, hold all the questions and hold all the things that you'd have to read, and you know, an animated game board and things like that. So what this would have been, had it been released, would be almost like a hybrid between a board game and a video game. So a show or a game like Wheel of Fortune, the cartridge might have contained the wheel, the actual animated element of the game, and the puzzles or the money or things like that would have been on paper. So this would have been, again, a sort of hybrid between a new video game and the elements of an old game. Now, this being in 1983 is the year that the video game market just completely collapsed on itself because of this glut of shovelware titles for systems like the Atari 2600, and it sort of eroded trust in the video game market. So one of the huge reasons why this never came to be, but again, this company would persist and eventually gain a lot of fame making this kind of game for not only home consoles but computers as well, the Commodore 64, any of the PCs, you know, like DOS versions of these games. But yeah, it all starts with the Great Game Company. Really interesting story, and would have been interesting to see what would have come out of this kind of partnership.
I think it's also interesting to note that this idea of having kind of a hybrid video game board game, it's still there today. If you buy Press Your Luck or Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune at your local toy store,
that's true.
It comes with a really bad app that has the electronic bits in it.
Right. Yeah, we're seeing it now that there are games that have elements where you have to install an app or something that you run on your TV or on your computer. That is really a perfected version of what they were trying to do back in 1983, which is kind of cool to think about.
Remember, everyone, ideas are cyclical, and no one has any new ones. Anyway, so the Great Game Company didn't deliver on Atari game shows, but like Chris said, they did eventually start to release things in what we call the kind of the first goal. I guess like
now we're talking. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Everything, even things they shouldn't have done. So Share Data and Game Tech. Share Data became Game Tech after they were the Great Game Company. And starting with the Coleco Adam, I think.
Right.
The first computer video game was Jeopardy for the Coleco Adam, and then they shortly made the same version of Jeopardy for every computer under the sun, Commodore 64, DOS. They also made Wheel of Fortune, and then they started branching out to other games. As you can see here, they made Double Dare, Super Password, Press Your Luck, The Price is Right, Hollywood Squares, Wheel of Fortune, Super Jeopardy, They did. No, they didn't do pyramid. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. No, but
Concentration.
yeah, concentration.
Classic concentration.
Right for
High
NES.
rollers.
For DOS and Commodore,
DOS,
yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah.
did. And this is around the time where we're starting to see that these companies are trying to make these games more of a completely like a sensory experience, right? So they're getting the licenses to the music. They're getting old material that was used on the show, old questions and things, and putting them in the game to give it that authentic sort of feel. This is around the time of a huge boom in trivia. Trivial Pursuit is a huge game in the 80s, and it's one of the reasons that Jeopardy became so successful when they relaunched it in 1984. Everybody was talking about trivia. That was just the thing to do. And so these games were training material for a lot of people that wanted to be contestants on the show. There really wasn't, other than using your VCR and recording dozens of episodes and watching them day after day, there wasn't really a way to practice with a buzzer, for instance, practice naming prices, practice categories that you might be weak in at Jeopardy or things like that. So we're really getting into the golden era of this type of game in that they try really hard to recreate the contestant experience rather than just show you how the game is played. There's realistic recreations of the set and the music and the sounds and the material. Right. I mean, realistic for, the mid 80s.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hollywood Squares in particular, they actually hired comedy writers to write some of the gag answers that the celebrities gave in the game, and a lot of them do come from the version of the show that was on the air at the time. So authenticity is, it looks silly now, but back then the authenticity of these games was a huge deal.
Game Tech was usually just the publisher, sometimes the developer as well, but especially with the Jeopardy games, those games were developed by a very influential company, right, Chris?
That's right.
That's the note that's on the thing here.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah. We have very sparse notes, but they're important.
Yeah, well, so Wheel of Fortune for the Nintendo Entertainment System in particular was developed by a company called Rare, which was based out of the UK. And a lot of the music that served as a recreation of the original themes was composed by David Wise years before he composed all the Donkey Kong Country soundtracks and things. He was working on rip-off theme songs of Wheel of Fortune.
Speaking of Wheel of Fortune, what we're going to do now is we're going to show you a little bit of how Wheel of Fortune actually looked in 1987, and then we will play what the computer version was so you can see immediately kind of the differences and similarities.
Does that sound like fun?
While we're doing that, do you want to pick someone from the audience to play?
Oh, does someone want to come up and play Wheel of Fortune on an old computer? I saw your hand first. Come on up. Let's play some stuff.
So first, get situated and do introductions and things.
All right.
Off mic.
Situated.
Let's watch. Perfect. Let's watch a clip from June 3rd, 1987. Wait, how do I do this? Okay.
Look at this studio, filled with glamorous prizes, fabulous and
She has
exciting
hair like my aunt.
merchandise, including a luxurious Russian sable evening jacket, this colorful jeweled parrot pin, and the snappy celebrity classic coupe. Over $99,000 just waiting to be won on Wheel of Fortune. And now, here's your host, Pat Sajak.
Oh, thank you, Jack. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And welcome to Wheel of Fortune. Glad you could join us. And now please join me in welcoming our hostess. Here's Vanna White. Oh, Vanna, are you back there?
We're going to skip ahead to the end of the first category, which is, look at all these people.
Very proud. A nice bunch. Are you all ready to do this? All right. I know I am, because I have nothing left to say. $1,000 is the top dollar value for this round. Try not to hit bankrupt. If you do, you lose your cash but not your merchandise, because once you buy a prize, it's yours to keep. You know, I can now say that in my sleep. Here's our first puzzle.
And he says it to this day.
And just before the show, we drew numbers to see who would start the game. And Chris, it's going to be you. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Well, not the worst time that could happen to you. Don't worry about it. Martin?
Martin does probably pretty good, but let's skip to 538 here. Does anyone know what it is yet?
Having the upper hand.
Oh, you guys are smart. Okay, good.
You're gonna spin again, aren't you?
Having the poker hand.
Oh.
Now 200.
I'd like a P, please.
Yeah, there's P.
Get it?
2 P's. The remaining letter is a vowel. $600.
Having the
What's
upper
this phrase?
Having the upper hand.
Yep, that's it.
$600 whole dollars. She retired after this.
$600 in the home entertainment center we go.
Well, let's see
For
what she buys.
$500, I'd like the reclining chair.
Okay, $100 will go either on a gift certificate or on account. How would you like?
Gift certificate, please.
And Jack will tell you about one snappy prize. Oh, that
Listen
word
to
for
how
you.
they describe this.
Yeah, we can use it again, though, Pat. What the heck? Chris, man-sized proportions and comfort built into an attractive wing chair recliner, upholstered in long-wearing acrylic velvet from Sam Moore Furniture Industries, $500.
All right.
So real quick, I wonder if everybody understands what's happening here. Years ago, before you played for money on Wheel of Fortune, because the networks assumed that women were watching TV during the day and women like shopping, when you won money, you took your money to the store and bought your prizes. They did that for a really, really, really long time, and it's still uncomfortable.
So, let us play a round of Wheel of Fortune to see how it was like on Microsoft DOS. And I think we all know how it used to look, but
So beautiful. It sounds so lovely, doesn't it?
okay.
I swear to God, I had a dream like this once.
Okay, so we got 3 players.
No time for the full title, you get it.
Yeah, we all 4.
And so on.
I'm Daniel.
Daniel, nice to meet you. I'm Christian.
I don't think you're returning champ, Chris. And Daniel, you said?
Yep.
Welcome to the stage. We're just gonna play one round. Oh, there you go. So, like Pat said, $1,000 is the top dollar value. The category is phrase, and that is supposed to be Vanna White. Sure. Okay. So I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Excuse me.
I'll take the R. Please.
She clearly has her feet bound.
Every day I'm shuffling. I'll spin again.
Oh no!
Chris, what would you like to do?
Hot damn, let's spin it.
And please, feel free to shout out answers. 900.
Wait. Oh, that's the timer. T. I thought the wheel was still moving and kind of went down.
Yes. Oh,
Oh.
big money. Oh! Oh!
All right, I'm gonna spin.
Okay. Which one's that? F1?
Yeah.
Spinning is a function.
Uh-oh.
Come on! 400.
All right. I'm gonna say an X.
All right. Ah!
What?
No X's. Daniel, what would you like to do?
I would like to solve.
Wait, let's see what happens if you solve with no money. What would you like to, what is it?
Rotten to the core.
To the core. Would you like to put your $200 on a gift certificate? Or would you like the man-sized chair?
I'll take the chair.
Can we talk about how they're playing 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue when you win?
It is America's game.
That's right. Rotten to the core.
How
Anyway.
much do I win?
Daniel, I'm going to give you a copy of High Rollers for your Nintendo Game Boy.
all right.
Tap that on your NFC-enabled smartphone.
all
You can
right.
play.
Well, thank you.
Chances are
Round
everyone's
of
going to
applause
get one
for
of those.
Daniel.
Yeah,
Everybody
everybody
get a
get a
round.
Please. Yes.
So like I said, authenticity is key
Yeah.
when it comes to these games.
I think the word you said was realistic.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, for back then, it was totally realistic because all they had were board games. And that was another thing, too. It was a definite paradigm shift because you no longer needed actual people to play these games with you.
Yeah.
Before these games came out, you had to have two people, one that couldn't play because they had to look at the answers and tell everybody who was right and who was wrong. Now you can play on your own against computer players, which was a huge game changer back then.
You can play game shows by yourself without your mother worrying about you.
That's right.
So we moved to the mid-90s. By the mid-90s, game shows are kind of going on a decline. Just like the video game industry in the early 80s, game shows just kind of went huge and then kind of blew up. The entire TV landscape was changing. So most of your game shows in the mid to late 90s, there are some syndicated game shows like Family Feud and Price is Right go into syndication, and then OJ goes on trial, and there goes Price is Right. You start to see some cable game shows, very low budgets. So there's not a lot of new properties that are being made. However, technology is still moving forward. So what companies are doing, especially Philips and Tiger Electronics, they're acquiring licenses to games that people recognize and putting them on platforms that they're creating in order to create a library that people are familiar with. And as we can see here on our left, that's Jeopardy and The Joker's Wild for the Philips CDI. I don't have to explain the CDI, apparently.
No, got
That's
CDI fans in the house tonight.
Yeah. Give it up.
When I say CD, you say I. CD! Oh, wow, it worked.
So the nice part about the CDI is because it's running on a CD, you can do full motion video. So Jeopardy was hosted by Alex Trebek, and Joker's Wild, the classic game show from the 70s, was hosted by
Who was that?
Bob Goen for some reason.
Oh, that's right, the guy from Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah, the guy from Entertainment Tonight, who had never really hosted what? Yes?
Well, wasn't it Wink Martindale that did Joker's Wild on CDI?
Oh, maybe it was.
Joker's Wild Jr. for CDI
No,
was
Joker's
Wink Martindale.
Wild
I thought.
Jr. was Mark Summers.
Oh, that's
Bob
right.
Goen did name that tune. You're absolutely right. It was Wink Martindale.
Give him a card. Give him a game.
There you go.
That's for clowning us on our own damn show.
Yep. I'd also like to point out it's 12:30 in the morning. But yeah, so Joker's Wild was never hosted by Wink Martindale, but they got him for the Philips CDI because they're just trying to get people who are recognizable. In the middle, you can see the Gamecom, which I owned because I was an idiot.
What was the Gamecom? Explain to the folks at home what the Gamecom
It was a worse Game Boy made by Tiger Electronics. It had a touchscreen, which was cool. It didn't really work that well, and you still couldn't see it at night. It was the worst. But it had Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and it had a sequel for Wheel of Fortune, which was weird. It had a Wheel of Fortune 2.
Wheel of Fortune some more.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. And then, of course, I think we're all familiar with the Tiger Electronics handheld games. And Tiger went soup to nuts on games for handheld electronics, multiple Wheel of Fortunes, multiple Jeopardies, and they went really bananas with licenses that they had no right to be making in 1998 to 1999.
Yeah, even shows like Super Password, which got canceled in 1989, they got their handheld version in the year 2000. They just went crazy licensing game shows, and you know, it really speaks to what a huge end goal is when it comes to releasing these games. What they do is they capitalize on names that people know. And game shows, you know, their popularity goes in and out. In the early 90s, they're sort of on the downward decline because there are a lot of talk shows and court shows and things that are taking audiences away from game shows. But as the 90s goes on, 1999, we see the premiere of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. All of a sudden, everybody's talking about game shows again. And so that may have been one of the reasons why Tiger Electronics felt the need to pick up all these licenses and just sell the idea of playing a game show in your pocket. And the technology was really, really cool. A lot of the games like Family Feud or Concentration or Wheel of Fortune had cartridges, and you could buy cartridges with different puzzles, and you can kind of, I guess almost like a primitive DLC kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Where you could,
expansions, yeah.
right, exactly. But yeah, really cool time to buy that kind of stuff.
As we move into, so Millionaire is kind of that renaissance of game shows. 1999, you have all these big money game shows. Millionaire is the first, obviously a huge hit, spawned a great PC game, spawned two PlayStation versions. and then you had big money game shows on TV like Winning Lines, Greed, but that bubble popped pretty quickly. By 2002, most of those game shows were, other than Millionaire, and Millionaire was getting run to death.
Yeah.
So you start to once again see this kind of dearth of high quality regular game shows. So for our next gen consoles, once we start to get to the PS2 era, that's pretty much it. Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Family Feud.
Yeah, but what's important to note is that these are the top 3 TV shows in syndication at the time. So not only are they popular game shows, they're popular, period. People know these names whether they watch the show or not. So that translates to big money when it comes to selling software with the name and Alex Trebek, pace it right in the front of it.
So with that in mind, as we start to move into the later half of the 2000s, we start to see an increase in interest by license rights holders to license their games out. So there's 2 specific camps that we see making as high quality game shows as possible. So on one hand, you have Ludia. They were acquired by Fremantle Media. Fremantle owns the things you see here for the most part. They own Price is Right, they own Family Feud, they own Press Your Luck. They leveraged that by buying a stake in a video game company, and they made what looked on the outset to be very high quality versions of these games.
They were not.
They were not, no, they were terrible. For very casual people, very casual game show fans, especially Family Feud and Price is Right, probably very fun. But when you look at them closer, you kind of realize that some of the music's wrong, some of the pacing's wrong. The things that you expect out of a game show, you don't really get. And now we're starting to be able to, from a technology standpoint, we're able to match what we see on TV with what we experience in video games for the most part. It might look a little more cartoony because it's the Wii, but we're seeing that we should be able to match our pacing. We should be able to match our music and our sounds and our material. So Ludia is one side. The other side is a company called Pipeworks. Pipeworks Interactive. They've made a few games. They still work today. They worked on Madden.
Right.
23,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But in 2010, they created Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune for Wii, which I happen to think, and I think you could agree with this.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, for
They're
sure.
some of the most accurate and best and also most fun game show adaptations. Yeah, give it up for fucking Pipeworks. Thanks, guys.
Can we take a second and look at how creepy Alex Trebek and Pat Sajak look on those things? Their heads are like 4 times the size of their bodies.
Yeah, but Trebek's little tiny mouth is cute. Where's my book bag?
Where's your book?
I got Can you get that? I got you. So we're going to watch a clip of Jeopardy from 2010, and then we'll compare that with the Wii version. Thank you. So while we do that, do you want to grab another contestant?
I do want to grab another contestant. Who wants to come up and play a game? You, right there with the blue mask. I'm pointing you directly. Yeah, you. Come on up. Round of applause for coming on up.
This is Jeopardy! Let's meet today's contestants. An insurance claims examiner from San Angelo, Texas, Jessica Freeman. A teaching artist at a museum from Brooklyn, New York, Peter Paul. And our returning champion, a newspaper reporter from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, J.R. Lynn, whose today cash winnings total $52,801. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny.
Pour one out, y'all.
2 days, over $50,000 for JR, but yesterday's victory was a big come-from-behind win for him.
So let's skip to a little bit of gameplay, but I think we've all seen Jeopardy in the past 100 years. So.
Poetry 800.
In the room, the women come and go, talking of this largest Central American lake, amigo. JR.
What is Lake Nicaragua?
Correct.
Lake Poetry 1200.
It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by this sea, the second and fourth largest lakes combined. Can't compete with thee. JR.
What is the Caspian Sea?
Yes, for one. Let's come down to JR Lynn. 11.
So, that was fun. Oh, hello, go back, go back. No, everyone, don't look.
Forget everything you saw about the chase.
Yeah. The chase isn't real, the chase can't hurt you. All right. So let's see if Dolphin will play nice. With my, yeah, everyone give it up for Dolphin.
Give it up for legally acquired ROMs.
I own it, it's fine. It's at home.
Please, everyone, take a second and tighten your wrist straps. Thank you.
So you're gonna use the, if you need to, you'll use the left thing as the Wii pointer.
This is for me?
Yeah, that's for you.
Oh,
You're
cool.
playing.
Okay.
No,
Nice.
I'm out.
Cool.
So you can hit A to fast forward, I think. I hope.
No, but this is so beautiful.
These people
We all want to get home to our families.
have room parties to get to. Come on. Yeah, so we can see. It's a cartoonized version, but that looks like the thing we just saw.
Bow to your supreme overlords! Look, guys, he's alive. It's okay.
Let's get.
Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone.
Yeah, there you go. See? Yeah, it works great, doesn't it? Two players. No computer players. No one's typing in their name or anything. We don't have time for that.
We're playing street rules.
Oh, I made you already. Is that me? It's just the default one. They didn't have many, and I don't know how to make me's for it. Let's go next.
Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
You're the guest, so you don't get a face. Oh, here you go.
Yeah, pick your face. There's no me's. Yeah.
All right.
Correct. Isn't it fun to play games at a 45-degree angle? Perfect. You get the brief. Let's go. Hit A to play. Yeah, fuck it. Easy. We don't have time for this. So what's nice about, and while they're playing, I'll talk about why I like Jeopardy for Wii so much, and it's that difficulty slider. Easy, it's multiple choice.
This is Jeopardy!
Scared the shit out of me.
And look, I mean, compared to the intro we just saw, you know.
Please welcome today's contestant.
There's Johnny Gilbert.
Player 1,
There I am.
Player 2. And now,
Watson's number 3.
here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Hey, Johnny Gilbert.
It's so
How
cute.
is everyone today?
It's so
You all
cute.
look eager to get underway, so let's get right into it.
Same thing. So
The categories are
While Alex is
Adventures
doing
in
this-
the Air, Literary Geography,
I'm
the
not even
Solar
gonna bother.
System,
I love it so much.
Baseball Franchise Shifts, I Want to Be, and Odd Words.
I too want to be odd words.
A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player 1, make a selection. Point the Wii remote at the screen and press the A button to select a clue. Answer. It's the Daily Double. You're tied with player 2 right now. So, what's your wager?
True daily double. 1,000. All of it. Confirm.
Now I'm gonna confirm it. Yeah.
Here is your clue. In Chapter 5 of The Sun Also Rises, horse chestnut trees are in bloom in this city's Luxembourg Gardens.
What? Oh, I can guess.
Yeah.
Somebody help. Somebody help. Please, somebody help. I'm hearing Berlin and Berlin.
I hit A.
Second place now, player 1. Here's what we were looking for. Paris.
Who was that? When we give him a game,
Select
I'm gonna
again.
take it away.
Okay.
All right. Let's do odd word.
Dumbledore is actually an old word for this insect. J.K. Rowling imagined him humming all the time.
Can we get a boo for
Player
J.K.
2,
Rowling?
use the Wii remote or press the corresponding direction on the plus control pad, and then press the A button
to select a response. That's correct.
There you go.
Player 2, you pick again, please.
One more clue.
The name of this light crinkled fabric comes from the Persian shur or shakar, meaning milk and sugar. Let's hear it, player 2.
Oh, hey!
Correct.
So I'm gonna just stop it there. Well done. Here, I have a thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I would like to stop the current. A shutdown is already. Yeah, it's fine.
So when the menu for that game came up, a lot of people said, "Whoa, mini games? Were there mini games in that?"
Yeah. So if you play between two human players, they have small mini games where the commercial breaks would be to add a little bit of extra. They weren't particularly mind-blowing, but it was a nice little change of pace, and it allowed the game to keep hitting those beats of this is like the TV show. In Jeopardy, it had some, and they were okay. Wheel of Fortune, they were really nice because they were exactly where the commercials would be, which was really helpful. So now we move on to today. And today we're in a really, I think we're still in a really weird spot. There's some people who are making very good game show games, and there are people who are making some very average game show games. Jeopardy for Switch is shit, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's only multiple choice, and I had to sit in the studio of Jeopardy to realize that the lady in the game is the Clue Crew lady, Sarah.
Did you know he was on Jeopardy?
All right, those two, you get prizes. The rest of you, just kidding, I lost. I don't want to reminisce. Anyway, Wheel of Fortune, I think we've seen it all over YouTube. It's a very fun game. It's fun with other people. It is very interesting, the choices that they've made in terms of production. I don't know why there's music all the time, and I don't know who that scary man is who is telling you to spin the wheel. Other than that, really nice game. Family Feud for Nintendo Switch, surprisingly okay, unless you play online. If you play online, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But I think the look and feel of it is really nice. The parsing of the questions is good. You can have fun playing Family Feud. And there's a company called Barnstore Games around the UK. If you love UK game shows, Barnstore makes the best versions of games. They work very closely with the production company. They get the proper typefaces, they get the proper sounds, they even get host clips. Either the host will record them themselves or they'll very expertly clip things out of episodes. It's really interesting, and we'll show you a little bit more as we move forward. But with about 20 minutes left, we can talk to you about what makes a good game show game. So me and Chris picked our 4 favorite game show games, 2 apiece, and we'll talk a little bit about why we like them. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, please go first.
Yeah, because that's how the slides are.
I would love that.
So my first game was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for the PC. It was groundbreaking for a number of different reasons. One of it very accurately captured the vibe of American Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that was thanks to their developer Jellyvision, who turned into Jackbox. We all know Jackbox, but before Jackbox, they were known as Jellyvision. They made a bunch of games like You Don't Know Jack and Head Rush, but they had pioneered a type of computer interface called interactive conversation interface, and it's a Bible on how to create interactive seeming conversations that are purely scripted. And the gist of it is make sure you follow up and have a lot of branches, but make sure you tightly control those branches. So when someone says, oh, what kind of books do you like? Give them a list. And then you pick them, and then you can get finer details out of that. So if you ask what kind of books you like, do you like fiction or nonfiction? If they say fiction, then you can ask them, oh, you like fiction? Well, tell me, which of these genres do you like? And then you pretend like it's having a conversation, and it's actually a very scripted, very carefully planned out thing. All that to say, they're really good at making games that look interactive. So let's just we're just gonna watch a little bit of Regis.
From New York City, night 2 of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
This is the second episode. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. right, hi everybody. How you doing? Here we are at the ABC studios in New York City, and it's good to be back doing our show. We really missed you. Last night we started our second flight of shows. I know many of you were watching. 3 contestants all struck out, leaving lifelines on the table.
So we're gonna watch this guy struggle for a couple questions, starting at 5:25.
Has taught junior high school and high school science, and I'm sure that this is just the kind of thing he's going to know, so I'd like to phone a friend.
Oh my gosh, this guy sounds like a lock.
I hope so.
All right, fine.
Yeah, he better be.
What's his name?
Tom.
Tom, all right. Our friends at AT&T will get Tom on the line, see what he has to say.
Hello?
Tom.
Hi.
Hi, Regis Philbin here from ABC's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. You know, we're here with John. He's won 16,000, going for 32, needs a little help right now.
Okay.
When he comes on the line, he'll read you a question of the 4 possible answers. One of them's the right answer. All right?
Okay.
In a moment, you'll hear John's voice. John, you've got 30 seconds. Starts right now.
Tom, which element makes up the largest percentage of the Earth's atmosphere? Is it oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, or carbon?
Oxygen, hydrogen,
Nitrogen, or carbon?
carbon.
We got 17 seconds left. 15.
Boy. Carbon or hydrogen? Let me see.
Carbon or hydrogen? You got 9 seconds here.
Maybe hydrogen, but I'm not sure.
Are you sure at all? No, you aren't
But
sure?
I
It's
know
pretty
it's
important?
not nitrogen. I know it's not oxygen.
Okay.
So his phone a friend said hydrogen or carbon. As we fast forward, you'll see he uses his 50-50 and those go away. So he hems and haws. His wife is very concerned as we skip to 9:42 real quick.
I should mention that we're at the useless piece of shit phase of Millionaire at this period.
They didn't have Google yet, so he decides to walk away, basically.
You think could be the closest to the answer?
Well, let's see if it's oxygen.
You say oxygen.
I say oxygen.
Final guess, oxygen.
Final guess, oxygen.
All right. It's nitrogen. It's nitrogen. Look, you did the
That's
right
okay,
thing.
you walked
took the
away.
16,000. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
dumb husband. Looking like it. We came all the way to New York to look like an ass. So, just for time's sake, I'm just gonna run Millionaire, but we can all yell at me as I pick the wrong answers. That'll be fun. And for this game, we'll need to go to fucking VMware Fusion. Let's go, baby. Windows XP. Please restore my virtual machine state. I didn't go on Steam and buy You Don't Know Jack just for this install. Disney owned ABC? That's right. I would like everyone to appreciate how much time it took me to figure out how to get this install to run almost perfectly. Thank you. Thank you. And watch accurate music.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
He's ready!
He got paid $8 billion to do that.
Hey there, I'm Regis Philbin.
just me,
Welcome.
Reg.
Okay, so you're all alone. Let's see. Do you need me
He's
to go over
doing
the
full
rules of the
narration.
game for you?
Awesome.
The first question I'd like
I
to
love
ask you
Regis
is,
so much.
what's your
I
name?
think I'll name myself Regis.
Hey, marvelous, thanks. All right then, let's play.
Hey, Regis Philbin. Oh, well. All right, here we go.
Let's take a look at your first question.
It has all the things. Whose profile can you see on the front of dimes that are current? I would like to use a lifeline.
Okay, select a lifeline.
I like to ask the audience.
Okay, let's see what the people had to say. Okay, there it is. Hope it helps. 15 seconds on the clock, please.
I think I'd like to phone a friend.
Yes, select a lifeline, please. I know just the person to call for this question.
Charlie's Meats, this is Charlie. What can I do you for?
Hey, Charlie, it's Regis. How you doing today?
Business Christmas has been better. I'm doing okay, though. You got a question for me?
Do you have time?
Yeah, I got time. I got time.
Oh, that's great. Now here's the question.
Whose profile can you see on the front of dimes that are You mean like whose face is on the front of a dime? Well, I wouldn't know, because I only carry $100 bills around. Yeah, I'm kidding. Let's see, whose face on the dime? Let's see. Lincoln is the penny. Nickel, I think, is Jefferson. The quarter is Washington, right? So, I'm going to go with Roosevelt. I think Ben Franklin is too classy of a guy to be on a dime.
So your answer is?
D, letter D.
Okay, then. Hey, I always appreciate your time. Thanks.
Okay, hey, I got your order here waiting for you. See you soon.
Bye. Charlie's
that
going
cute?
with D. How about you?
As practically every question has a phone a friend. I'm not sure though. Just
50-50 it is. Computer, would you please eliminate 2 of the 4 answers, leaving only 1 wrong answer and the correct answer? Well, there you go. You now have 15 seconds.
all the signs are pointing to it. Let's hit.
So you're putting your money on C?
Yep.
No, that's not it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
All right, let's see what the correct answer was.
Why did no one tell me?
Oof, what am I going to do with you? Well, look at it this way. No taxes. That's zero income, my friend. You don't have to pay a dime on it. So, congratulations. And maybe I'll see you again next time on...
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Now hold the money up. How do I... Okay, great.
Oh, the dog!
A dog!
Yeah! Dog!
So what I really like about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is the fact that they did so much work to make it feel like you're actually in the hot seat. It's like Regis is talking to you. And that's really the whole point of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I think they captured that beautifully. The end.
I agree.
Let's just do one more because we are running out of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want to do this one or the other one?
Let's do this one because this one is actually my favorite, and I don't know that I don't know that many people have heard of it. So this is a game called Wipeout. So before Wipeout was known as like a big obstacle course where you bounce around on someone's balls or whatever, Wipeout was a trivia game in the 80s. And what was really cool about Wipeout was that you didn't really need to know trivia to be good at it. The game essentially was you get a board with 16 answers on it, you get a question. Five of the answers are wrong, they're wipeouts. The other ones are correct, and you just have to pick them off one at a time. I like this because my wife hates this kind of game, but she'll play this with me because, again, you don't have to be a genius to play Wipeout. So we'll play around of it. Well, first of all, we'll show you what the show looked like.
Yeah.
And then we'll try to play
And
a
this
little
was
bit of it.
this was a very not well-known show, I'd say. This didn't really cause a whole lot of waves back then.
No, this was on for about a year or so. It was more successful in a lot of other countries. This PC game that we're going to play is actually one of the rarest that this company released in the 80s. So we'll get a chance to look at it.
And this was Share Data, which turned into Game Tech.
Correct.
Thank you. So let's take a look at Wipeout. I've got a few clips.
From Paramount Studios in Hollywood, it's television's most exciting new game, Wipeout! And here to put their knowledge and strategy against the Wipeout are Dan Brown, Lori McKenzie, and David Oman.
Nightmare blunt rotation.
The one who bears the best to drive off in this century wagon. And now, here's your host, the star of Wipeout, Peter Tomarkin.
Peter Tomarkin, most well known for Mr. Professor Luck.
Hi, thank you, Jim Hackett, and hi, everybody. Welcome to another day of Wipeout.
So let's skip to $1.30.
That's what I got to say. All right, we're going to show you a board up here with 16 answers. 11 will be correct, 5 will be incorrect. It is your job to find the 11 correct answers, with the first correct answer worth $25, then $50, third one's worth $75, and so on, until finally the last correct answer is worth $275. So there's some strategy involved in the game. Keep that in mind. A wrong answer is a wipeout, and that means you lose your money and your turn, and that's no good because you want to stay alive. You want to be one of the 2 players to move on to the challenge round because the last place player, third place that is, will not move on, okay? And so the best thing I can tell you is good luck and stay out of third place, gang. And we have a hotspot on our board as usual, and that is a prize behind a correct answer. And Big Bad Jim is going to tell you what the hotspot is today, right, Jim?
The Hotspot winner will enjoy a real getaway, Peter, to San Diego's U.S. Grand Hotel. Return to the Century Elegance and Luxurious rooms and fine dining for the discriminating traveler. From the U.S. Grand Hotel, the retail value of this trip, Peter, is over $1,100.
San Diego. Sounds pretty good. Dan, you have first crack at the board since you were first. You can pass if you like, but you must make at least one selection before you pass. And we're going to play until all the right or all the wrong answers have been revealed. Fair enough?
Fine.
Let's take a look at the board. There it is, with all kinds of goodies on it. And I ask now, we've had an actor as president, so which of these actors is paired with a president who they've portrayed? 11 correct out of 16. Dan, give me a correct answer.
Well, I remember Henry Fonda was in Life of Lincoln.
So let's find out if Henry Fonda and Lincoln is indeed correct. Yes. Good start, Dan. $25.
As a little bit after this one.
She was right. Give her a card.
She was right.
Give her a card. Give her a card with a game on it.
No, she played. Come up here. You're playing Wipeout.
Hey.
So let's skip a little forward. You can see the progress. Now, if you get an answer wrong in Wipeout, it makes you go bankrupt. So that's why everyone's scores eventually goes away. There she goes. And then we'll start again here.
Here, let me. Have to give me an answer.
Yeah, let me see if Mr. Robards did Lincoln.
Let's see if Mr. Robards did Lincoln. He was a busy man. Oh! You got it. Hot spot. You know what you have to do. You have to keep that hot spot. You also got yourself some money. $675 first place. Do I have to ask you what you're going to do?
I'm going to pass this on
Funny,
Laurie.
I somehow expected that. All right, Laurie, put you back in the game, however. 2 correct answers out of 5. Give me one of them, and you'll make yourself $250.
How about Burgess Meredith and Truman?
Let's find out about Burgess Meredith and Truman, shall we? Oh, sorry, not the case. David, up to you. 2 correct answers out of 4. Obviously 50-50, and it's worth $250. You don't have any money. Give me an answer.
I'll take Robert Preston playing John Adams.
Let's find out if Robert Preston did play John Adams. Obscure but correct. Whoa, David, you pulled that one out. You're in second place with 2.
So anyway, you'll figure it out. That lady doesn't win. All right, let's.
No, but you see what I mean? How it kind of just makes you play along. Like I knew nothing about any of that, but it's just fun to like pick them off, even though you don't really know the answers. That's why I think this is a really fun game. And so we're gonna play it now.
We're gonna play it. Press X to. No, we're good. Perfectly similar.
That's right. It actually goes kind of hard for like a DOS game.
They had one note at a time.
One take.
All right, let's. Yes, please. I do not want to use the joystick.
And just so you know, I want to be the guy with the hat.
Oh, yes, you do. Okay. My name is. Yeah, I guess.
I want to be the guy with the hat.
You'll get it. I want to be. Was that Mike Myers in the German skits?
Yeah. Dieter.
Yeah, it's Dieter. Okay, Cribs. And you are male, and you want.
Guy with the hat.
And what's your name?
Liz.
Liz. All right. Onesie or 2?
1.
Okay. Are you male or female?
We'll go with female.
It was 1989. Would you like a new character?
That's perfect.
Perfect. All right. Let's see our Peter Tamarkin. That's pretty close.
That tie is fire.
There are 16 answers with 11 right ones, 5 wrong ones. The hotspot's a piano worth $6,800. Please wait while I look for a really. No.
That just meant that the floppy disk was loading. Yeah.
11 of these firsts are matched with the presidents who accomplished them. All right, let's go.
Weird.
Oh, hell yes to spot a UFO, Carter. Okay.
Look how smug you look in the corner when you get something right.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it. Buchanan was a bachelor. Bet. All right. Let's see. I want to say Truman was the first to visit all 50 states. Fuck!
All right.
Corey Wipeout.
I'll show you how a master does this. All right, here we go. So I think the first to have a beard, I think, might have been Lincoln. I'm gonna say that.
Her name was Mary Todd.
Damn. Shots fired. Whoa. Oh, what? Too soon? Kennedy born in 1900.
You have so much money already. I hate you.
I know Carter was the first one to be born in a hospital.
Liz, we're about to get wiped off the map.
I guess so.
No, I don't know. I think. Was somebody keeping track of the first president to wear long pants?
Obviously.
Let's find out. Holy God!
That's upsetting. There are 5 right answers.
First one to die in office.
All right, Liz.
All right, Liz.
Okay.
Just tell me which ones you want. There's 3 wrong answers.
I think Jefferson is right.
You want to take oath in office?
I think it's good.
Nice. You've got 225 already.
All right. Let's say Navy Kennedy.
Okay. You can also pass if you'd like.
We'll risk it.
All right. She came with nothing. She leaves with nothing. All right.
Yeah, I lose everything, right?
Yep. You'll wipe out if you get a wrong answer.
I don't think TV was really around for FDR still.
Fair.
Let's say Taylor for 1 term.
We all wiped out. 2 wrong answers. I'm just gonna pick something. Chris?
Go down to 4. He's the first one to change his name. Because his name was Leslie King. Yeah. Oh! I'm a big idiot. Good game, everybody!
In TV land, they would kick us out of the studio.
Which actually is what they're going to do in like 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So,
first of all, thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Tap that to your phone. And then we're just going to fast forward right to this. Everyone, thank you very much. If you liked what you saw and you want to see the other slides that we would have done, please go to the guidebook and give our panel 5 stars. If you hated us or did not think it was worth 5 stars, I didn't say anything, so just don't do anything at all. Just don't. It's like Uber. It's 5 or you complain to the manager. That's it. Anyway, we are at the Indie Video Game Showcase right between the arcade and the marketplace, so you can come see me and Chris. We are showing off our game Pundle, which is based on an old game show called Definition. We're very happy to have that there. Any last words?
Thank you very much. This was fun. Appreciate it.
You want to go